Welcome to the Offshore Club's fun-filled, fact-filled, fast-paced, blockbuster podcast, Coffee with Carib Carter, coming to you exclusively from where the sun never sets on the good life at a great price. And now, fill up your favorite coffee mug and join your expert and your guide, Carib Carter Clues.
Hello, and welcome to Coffee with Carib Carter, episode 64. Grab your coffee, take a sip, sit back, relax, let's enjoy ourselves. Got a really big show, as Ed Sullivan used to say today, really big show. A lot of stuff to cover. For one reason, today is Carib Carter Mail Call Day, okay? I know you like that. Gives me a chance to answer some of the questions from people that are kind of representative of the kind of questions they get. And I get a lot of email. My inbox is full of hundreds of emails, and I love them, by the way. I love them. Please keep them coming. I answer every one of them. I answer every email. Send them to Carib Carter 7. That's the number 7, right? At gmail.com. Carib Carter 7 at gmail.com. And then every month I select a couple of them out to read. Today we're going to try and get 3 in, okay, that are, representative of the types of questions that I most frequently get, all right? So we have that to look forward to. We also have what I think is really a fascinating $1,000 listing Caribbean for you today. I think it's fascinating because it is a place that I can almost guarantee you probably have never heard of, okay? A country, yeah, not a town, a country you probably have never heard of. I'll give you a hint, okay? I'll give you a hint. It is, I think, the only Latin American country that was actually founded by these folks, okay? The Dutch masters. Yes, they did more than just bring you cigars, okay? This country was founded by the Dutch masters. Now, there might be some of you are saying, I know where it is. Okay, don't tell everybody else. I'm going to tell you later. I'm going to give you the name of it. But we're going to take a look at a property there. And we're going to talk about a little bit about the town it's in. Very unique place. We have never been there. We have never been there together. So today, we're going to make that trek, okay? I'll show you the pictures. I've found the house for you. And it is unique, okay? That's all I'm going to say. Let's leave it at that. So we're going to get there. We have a motivational moment that really is quick and to the point, and really is about, kind of centers around the friends you choose, okay? The friends you choose that, friends either help you up or they help you down, right? They either help you up or down. And so this motivational moment, short video, really helps put in perspective what'll be helpful to you as you contemplate making your move south of the border. And some of your friends, are going to be doomsayers, naysayers, whatever. Okay, this is going to help you say to those people, hey man, I don't need that. So you'll see. We're going to get to that. But first, it is mail call time. It is mail call time. And keep those cards and letters, those emails coming, because I read every one, as I said, and I love every one of them. And so let's take a look. And what I'm going to do, I was going to answer now. Every one of these I will have already answered, okay? But I'm going to give you kind of verbatim the answer that I gave to the people who wrote in, all right? So let's take it. I'm going to try and squeeze 3 in. So let's get started on that. The first one, Carib Carter. This was the email, short and to the point. Carib Carter, no one seems to explore Central and South America as much as you do. So where do you think is the very best place to move right now? That's a fascinating question. And I do get that a lot. And, it's varied over the years. And let me give you a straight to the point, straight to the shoulder, straight from the heart answer to you. 10, 11 years ago, when I bought my first home in Honduras, I think that back then that was probably, to me, the very best investment in all of Central America. Okay, when you take into account the beauty of the country, the friendliness of the people, the cost of living, okay, safety, security. Honduras was an incredible investment when I bought my first house. And I remember I still have 2 homes there, so I still think it's a great investment. But not too long after I got the home, I bought it around 2009, and in 2008, the UN had said Honduras does not have any drug problem. It does not have drugs in the endemic, and it does not allow pass-through drugs. Then Hugo Chavez came along and made a buddy of a president that came in, and you know the rest, okay? So now, they have fought, the Honduran people have fought back from that. I remember going to the airport a couple of years later, and the cab driver, I said, you got to get this situation under control. He says, Senor, he's not us. He's not the Honduran people. He's the politicians. And he was exactly right. And they are cleaning it up. And I think Xiomara, the new president, has stepped in and is doing and really tackling this seriously. So, thank God for her, and praise the Lord for what she's doing. But so back then, Honduras was. Now I would say that it's really kind of a toss-up. Okay, Uruguay is a fantastic place. Okay, Uruguay is just amazing. It is a European city, a European country in Latin America. It's just that simple. Okay. Now, some of you might be saying, Carter, so is Costa Rica. As a matter of fact, the Costa Ricans consider themselves Europeans and not Latinos. Yeah, it is, but the cost of living is a lot higher in Costa Rica. Okay, I take everything into account when I talk to you about this stuff. Uruguay's cost of living is much lower. Okay, and you go to Montevideo, the capital, Google it. You're going to swear you're in Italy. Okay, and not surprisingly, because there's a tremendous number of Italians there. So Uruguay is always good. But I'm going to say Nicaragua, okay? And some of you are not surprised by that. Nicaragua is, to me, just prime right now. It's prime. Get in before the prices go up. I urge you to do that. Because look, here's this chart, and we've looked at this before. The cost of living way down there. See the income of the average income in Nicaragua. Okay. Look, there's a factor you have to think of here. When you look at a country like Nicaragua, so the average annual income is about $2,000. Now, that means, so if you want to factor in the cost of living, you have to realize, well, that means their average annual income is like, $2,000, and the average annual income in the U.S. is about $34,000. Well, the cost of living is going to reflect that. Okay, they can't charge more than the people can afford to pay who live there. So if you move to Nicaragua, same in Honduras, your cost of living is going to be a quarter to a third of what it is in the U.S. Okay, and in Nicaragua, you also have what I always tell you about the Carib Carter 10% factor. Overall cost of living, a quarter to a third. Cost of housing, whether it's a cozy cottage or a multi-room mansion, it's about a tenth of what you would live, what you would pay in the U.S. And I'm talking wonderful, beautiful housing, gorgeous homes. Look, here's, Grand Pacifica, which we talk about all the time here. Okay, it's a Mike Cobb community. You're going to get a home there on the ocean. Okay, for $200,000 to $300,000. I'm not selling you this. I'm just telling you about it. I'm not selling. I'm telling. $200,000 to $300,000 on the ocean, not ocean view. And if you have binoculars, like in the U.S. nowadays, no, I'm talking on the ocean. For again, a tenth, a home that would cost you $2 million to $3 million up here is going to cost you $200,000 to $300,000 there, maybe less. And in other areas in Nicaragua, the home cost of the homes is even more, or the cost is even more affordable. So Nicaragua is a great place to live. And do you remember, some of you have been with me for a long time now. Do you remember when I interviewed Patrick Hebert? Lives American, expat Canadian, I think Patrick is. I know he is. who lives in Nicaragua, and we asked him about medical care, and he said, "Well, let me tell you something." He said, "I went to the doctor here with kidney stones. Awful thing, very painful, as all of you know." And he said, "I spent the whole more than half a day there, all kinds of treatments, MRIs, X-rays, the whole works. The doctors." Several doctors in attendance. One of them walked me to the pharmacy to get my prescription after it was over. He said it was $58. He said probably in Canada would have cost, even with the Canada's health, state health insurance. He said would have cost 6,000 at least. Okay, and he said it's top quality. He said then the quality of the treatment was better. Folks, at this point, Nicaragua has everything you can want, plus a much lower cost of living. Okay, a much lower cost of living. By the way, these homes here, these are just over 100,000 at Grand Pacifica, and right off the beach. Okay, right off the beach. So it's a Grand Pacifica in Nicaragua. That's why I'm bringing it up. Check it out. Check out other areas in Nicaragua. It's a wonderful lifestyle there. Remember when we interviewed Giovanni, and Giovanni told us that his life, he said, "I lived in America. I moved to America. And I finally, after, what did he tell us, 30 years or something, said, what am I doing here when I could be living the good life at a great price and back home in Nicaragua?" His mother's Italian. That's why he's Giovanni. And he said, "I moved back to Nicaragua." He said, "I've never been happier in my life." Check Nicaragua out. I urge you, check Nicaragua out. It's a wonderful life there. It's a wonderful life there. There's another reason it's a wonderful life there. And that brings us to our second letter, okay? Our second letter. This was a fascinating email I got last week, okay? I'm going to read verbatim the email, okay, that I got. I have a lot of reading dear Carib Carter, I have a lot of reading to do on your website. Do you have any info on what happened to Honduras during COVID? Okay, it's a great question from I'm not going to give any names because I just don't do that. Protect your privacy totally. But I wrote back and I told her I'm sorry, she said happened in Honduras. Okay, I'm going to get to why. I'm sorry, I left out a word. In Honduras, it'll evolve to Nicaragua in a second. I wrote back to her and told her the coronavirus situation in Honduras kind of mimicked America. You know, they had the whole hysteria bit. And Juan Orlando, who was president then, who thank God is not president now, Xiomara's president, Xiomara Castro, he took advantage of it to just, oh my God, draconian restrictions on those poor people. Well, you had it happen to you, so you know what I'm talking about. He's gone now. He's actually in jail in the U.S. for the drugs. Remember I mentioned it when I was talking about the last letter. And now they're saying the kids are allowed to go to school again. You want to let the kids go to school? Kids were in almost no danger of coronavirus, or the COVID as they like to call it. And he wouldn't even let it go to school. So I wrote back and said, you know, that's what happened in Honduras. And my wife's been there and said it's much better now. And you're seeing freedom again, letting freedom ring. So this Offshore Club member wrote back and said, well, how about Nicaragua? Nicaragua, bang. Just what I just told you about, isn't it? That's what I just told. There, I was happy to write back and say, you know, now you're talking about a place that is the exact opposite. Okay. Nicaragua has all the great prices, fantastic prices. And Ortega said from the beginning, I'll never forget it. He just said to his people there, hey, he didn't buy into the hysteria. Okay. God bless him. He said, hey, I'm not your father. I'm your president. I'm not going to dictate to you wear a mask. He said, I don't. It's up to, if you want to wear a mask, wear a mask. I'm not going to force you to get shots, you know. I think, he said, if you want to get any shots you want, get them, but you're free. And the people there had a free life throughout the whole thing. Very low incidence of coronavirus, very low incidence, almost non-existent. So that's what I wrote back to this Offshore Club member. Check it out. I recommend it specifically, a Grand Pacifica once again. Okay. I recommend a Grand Pacifica. And I want to make clear, I don't make a penny if you buy a Grand Pacifica. That's not what I do. My mission in life is to help the Offshore Club become part of your lifestyle, because I think it's a great, great lifestyle. And we're going to start having conferences and seminars, mastermind groups for you. All that is coming down the pike this year, by the way, this year. And that's my whole, and helping you realize you can, as Tennyson said, seek a newer world offshore and build a newer world where all the things that you once loved in the U.S. you can now have there, okay? Because it's much wider open. We're getting a lot of oppression now, and it's going to get worse. I know. I was in politics 40 years. As George Orwell said in 1984, politicians, once they get power, never give it up. Well, they got the power with the COVID thing, and they're not going to give it up, okay? What did the Biden just established a new Ministry of Truth at DHS? Please. Okay. So, but at any rate, you don't have any of that in Central or South America. There is no country, perhaps with the exception of Cuba, maybe Venezuela, but I don't even think so there, that has a Ministry of Truth that determines whether what you say is true or not. And if you say something not true, it has the power to make you do whatever they want as punishment for lying or distorting or whatever. I'm not going to get into it. I'm going to say Nicaragua doesn't have it. So that's what I recommended. And I said, check out Grand Pacifica, because, it's gorgeous. It has all the amenities. The prices are incredible. Remember, Carib Carter 10% factor. Gorgeous homes, a tenth of the price you'd pay here. Much better built. On the ocean, 3.5 miles of ocean front there. And I said, and an added advantage, it's a Mike Cobb community. He's the developer, and Mike is just a super guy. And next thing you know, Mike's writing to this Offshore Club member. He says, hey, I'm a huge fan of Nicaragua, having lived there 14 years. This is from Mike Cobb, folks. Mike Cobb has 5, he and Joel Nagel, his partner, have 5 Caribbean developments. Okay, gorgeous, best developments in all of the Caribbean. But look, he took the time to write back personally to an Offshore Club member. I lived there 14 years. He says, and it's great there. I'm a huge fan because Nicaragua was one country in the region that did not lock down, or require mask mandates, or close businesses. As for Grand Pacifica, we now have a nice community of freedom-loving individuals. That's you, folks, freedom-loving individuals who share your concerns and beliefs about COVID. If you'd like to meet a few of them, just let me know and I'll make the introductions. Folks, that's the kind of thing that the Offshore Club brings to you, okay? I started out answering the email. Look who picked it up. I'm the top developer in the entire Caribbean. Remember, we went to El Zante recently, the one he's getting ready to develop in El Dorado. Is Grand Bayman in Belize, in Costa Rica. So there you go. There's the second letter, the answer to it. Check out Nicaragua. You want to know where you can be free, live free, total free. Don't have to worry about any return to a crackdown, lockdown. There you go. Perfect. So that's the answer to that letter. Final letter. Because I want to move quickly along. We're going to try and cut the time here. Because I don't want anybody to get the idea that I'm in love with the sound of my own voice, because I am not. And what's most important to me is that you get the information you need to make your own wise, well-informed decision about the good life at a great price south of the border, okay? Final letter, very quickly. Then we're going to take a quick look at the country I told you about that's very intriguing and fascinating. and very little known. Dear Mr. Clues, whenever they start out that, I know I'm in trouble. Okay, I know I'm in trouble. All right, here we go. Dear Mr. Clues, you're always encouraging everyone to move to what you call the good life at a great price in Latin America, yet you still live in the U.S. What's up? It's a great question. I've answered it a little before, but you know what? It's such a good question. I don't hesitate to answer it again. I appreciate it. I'm going to give you a paradox, okay? I'm not going to take all day with it. I'm going to give you a paradox. The reason I don't move to one of my two lovely, beautiful homes in Honduras, each of which I paid $30,000 for, the beachfront home probably is worth $400,000 up here easily. It's my front yard is the beach, okay, in a guarded, gated, gardened community. My other home's in a small town in Honduras, beautiful little small town. I paid $30,000 for it. It'd probably be 150 to 200,000 up here. Beautiful home, beautiful home. Check that out. Check them out. The one in Honduras is we're in the community, the gated community is La Ceiba Beach Club. Okay, LaCeibaBeachClub.com. So incredible prices. I may be buying another one soon. But the reason I don't live in one of those homes, paradoxically, is that my wife is Honduran. Now you might be saying, what the heck does that mean? Here's what that means. Here's what that means. And I think it bears on you making your move there. My wife was raised in poverty so abject that we can't even relate to it mentally in this country, okay? The people whine about being poor in this country, income inequity. Normally, if there's income inequity in America, it's because there is work inequity or education inequity, which pretty much is each of our own choices, isn't it? But down there, the poor are poor, and she would play in the dirt. She was raised in what looked like a chicken coop. I've seen pictures. No furniture, no floor. When it rained, she and her little brothers and sisters would sleep in the mud, literally shivering because they had no blankets. But she would play in the dirt outside her home. As a 5-year-old, she told me, and pray to God, please God, bring me a gringo to take me to America one day. Okay. Remember, she's 30 years old now, so that was a long time ago. It's a long time ago. 30 years ago, 25 years ago. And that was her prayer. America was much different then than it is now, unfortunately. Unfortunately, I'm going to get to that in a second. But that was her prayer. And we met 8 years ago, 8 or 9 years ago now, fell in love. We've been married 5 years. And I remember her telling me one time we were working on something at the house, and I said, doggone, I need one of those tape measures that pulls out. Some of you who do your own construction work, you know what I'm talking about. I said, I need to go to Lowe's or whatever, Ace Hardware, and get one. When I came back and I handed it to her, I said, here you go, you can measure with this. She started weeping. I said, what's the matter, Princess? She said, when I was a little girl, my father did some carpentry work, and he let me use this. He let me play with it. It was the only toy I had, was a tape measure like this. And then one day we didn't have any money, and to buy food, bread, he had to sell it, and I didn't have anything then. So that's what she came from, with the dream of one day coming to America. Well, she's in America now. We just went up yesterday, and she did an incredible job with immigration up in Philadelphia. Here's a picture of her, okay, drinking her coffee at the train station. We're getting ready to go up there, okay. Wonderful, wonderful girl. Passed with flying colors. She has her permanent residency now. She'll fight for the citizenship. That's why I don't move back, and it's to move to Honduras, and that's the only reason. Her dream was to become an American citizen. We're going to make that dream come true. Please understand, this is not the America she dreamt of as a child. Okay, she knows that. She knows that. But it's still her dream, okay? If you can make somebody's dream come true, and hopefully the whole purpose of the Offshore Club, and hopefully it is helping your dreams of making your move offshore come true, okay? I hope it's your dream, and we're going to fulfill it. If you can do that, that's a wonderful thing. That's a gift from God, okay? A gift from God. And so that's why. once she gets that citizenship, then she'll have dual citizenship, and we can spend as much time as possible in that wonderful country of Honduras, where you don't have a ministry of truth. They just, the Department of Justice in this country just yesterday announced they're going to have now a environmental justice division. What the hell is that? I guess that means if you, I don't know, anything you do that they decide is not good for the environment. Remember, it's not EPA, it's the Department of Justice that is establishing this division, which means at their disposal is the FBI. Now, you might say, well, come on, Carter, they're not going to use the FBI to people who violate what they think are the proper methods of treating the environment. Oh, no, they use the FBI to go after parents who didn't want porno in their school libraries. Merrick Garland, or as I call him, Merrick Himmler, he did that. So why wouldn't their new division do that? It's justice. Who determines justice? Well, frightening who does now. But that's where we are. It's where we are. When we went up there to Pennsylvania, up to Philadelphia, the immigration's in a horrible, horrible neighborhood. Horrible. I couldn't even let my wife walk the street there. But you know what? It broke my heart because it was clear it was once a beautiful neighborhood, a beautiful working class neighborhood. You could tell the stores were still there where you knew these wonderful working class people once shopped. Now they're either boarded up or they're junk stores. There's no excuse for that. There's no excuse for that. It's gone. Last time we were up there, there was a bar, and you knew it was once the bar meeting place of the blue collar workers. They got off work, went there, grabbed a couple beers together, maybe on an Eagles game on a Sunday. They gathered, watched it together. Hey, look at that! Come on, catch the ball! Right, the whole 9 yards. Last time we were there, it was Sweeney's, and the sign was still up. It was rusted now because obviously it had closed. When we went up yesterday, even the sign was gone. That's the direction you don't need to be going in. Everything you loved about this country, like that little area once was, you can have south of the border. Okay, that's what I'm telling you. Okay, that's what I'm telling you. It's all there. It's all there for the asking, in some cases for the making. And you say, but what about the poverty? Well, the poverty doesn't affect you. In Honduras, the average income annual is about $2,000. Most of you, even if you're on Social Security, you're going to bring in that much a month. So you're going to live like royalty. And you know what? When you're there, you can help some of these people that are poor. Okay? That's what my wife and I do now. So it's the best of all worlds for you. You live well, and you're able to do a mitzvah. As my Jewish friends say, a mitzvah. So that's just wonderful. It's perfect. And that whole idea of moving somewhere where you're free, where it's enjoyable, brings us to our $1,000 list in Caribbean today. And I'm going to make it quick because we're running out of time. As a matter of fact, I'm going to go very quickly here. So bear with me if you don't mind. Didn't find this on Vivian. I Googled Suriname. Now, some of you are saying, Sarah, what? Suriname. Suriname is the smallest country in all of Latin America. See it there? That little red dot. Okay. Oh, no, it's the green dot next to it. All right. It is the green dot next to it. It's the smallest. Okay. French Guiana may look bigger, but it ain't, because Suriname is the smallest. There are only, I think, a total of about 600,000 people in the whole country. Tiny place. And so I Googled and said, wonder what kind of housing is there? Well, I found one for you. In a place called Pardo, okay? Pardo. And this home is in, the full name of the place, let me see if I can pronounce it, is Paramaribo, Suriname, okay? I always show you by the way, if you Google it, just Google Suriname real estate. This is what came up, okay? Right down to the house I got for you, 54 Thebe Street, I guess is how you pronounce it, all right? 54 Thebe Street. Here is the town it's in, Paramaribo. Okay, we always do the long shot. This is the, okay, there it is right there. All right, beautiful, isn't it? Isn't that gorgeous? Gorgeous. This is the tropical climate. Tropical climate. That town has about 200,000 people, so there's going to be plenty for you to do. And this home is a cozy, well-maintained, turnkey, quiet area. And it says near where it is, and it's all Dutch words. They speak Dutch. Okay. Remember I told you, I showed you the picture of the Dutch. It was Fats who found it. And it is, they speak Dutch. Go figure. So in Latin America. Okay. So it has a lot of the Dutch influences. It's very nice. It's garage, terrace. It is 3 bedrooms, air conditioning, living room with open kitchen, bathroom, the front terrace. Look, here's the. Let me show you the pictures. Okay, see the home there. All right, see the home. Let me show you some closer ups here. Here's the home. Okay, 3 bedroom. Look at the palm trees there. Isn't that gorgeous? 3 bedroom terrace. All right, garage. Let's take a look inside. There you go. Very comfortable, very well constructed. That lovely. That's out on the terrace. That's showing you the terrace outside the house. Let's go inside. Here's your living room area. All right. Here is your dining room area. Okay. All right. So it's beautiful. It's a beautiful little home. You know, well, 3 bedrooms. That's pretty good size. Total cost about, in American dollars, about I think it's somewhere around 97,000 total. Done. And it's yours in Suriname. Okay. It's a very peaceful country, very safe country. I looked up all of the, the travel websites on it, and everybody said the same thing. It's very safe. The people are very friendly, very Dutch influence. Matter of fact, let's roll to give you a good idea of it, instead of my just blabbing here, let's roll a video it's only about 2 minutes, that shows you what life is like in, I'm going to try and pronounce it again, Paramaribo, Suriname. Gary, let's roll it. You're going to like this, folks. There you have it. Yours for the asking. Now, is it clearly, this is a place where you're going to have to be one of those people who doesn't need a lot of intense nightlife. You're going to be a person who, I would suggest, my thinking, I'm just giving you my thinking out loud here, is more, if you take you and your family, you don't mind independent living. But it's It's a nice community. It's a nice country to live in. It's very peaceful. It's very friendly. And cost of living, the average total annual income is about $10,000. So you figure it's going to be probably about half what it costs you here to live, okay? A half to a third, okay? Not as cheap as Honduras, Nicaragua, a couple other places, but still very, very good, okay? So that's it. Suriname. I think some of us have learned about a new country today, and certainly I think all of us learned about a new city, Paramaribo. They speak Dutch there. It's incredible. So that's a heavy Dutch influence. Good. That's very nice. So there you have it. There you have it. Now, let me very quickly give you a quick motivation to help you make that move. I mentioned, you know, you have your friends help you determine what's going to happen to you in life. And that's why everybody I listen to, whether it's a Grant Cardone, a David Goggins, all these people, Eric Howard, they all say, folks, please be careful of who you surround yourself with. Surround yourself with good, positive people. Here to drive, let's drive the message home with someone I like, Jordan Peterson. Let's run a quick video where he really drives the point home. Surround yourself with people who, when you say, you know, I'm thinking of making my move to, who knows, Suriname or somewhere else in Central or South America, gives you some encouragement, okay? Lifts you up. Okay, let's run that video, Gary.
Well, let's talk about friendships for a minute. Here's how you know if someone's your friend. A, you can tell them bad news and they'll listen. They won't tell you why, you know, you're stupid and why that bad thing happened to you and how something worse happened to them once and, you know, derail the whole conversation. You can actually tell them bad news and they'll listen. So that's a good thing. And then this is a weirder thing. You can tell them good news and they'll help you celebrate. And that's a really good way of deciding who you should have around you, because if you have someone around you, you know, something good happens to you and you're kind of afraid to even admit it because, you know, God, something good happened to you. It's like, you let that be known and it'll certainly be taken away. So, you know, you come out and you sort of tell someone half-heartedly that something good happened to you and they give you a whack and then talk about, you know, the great thing that happened to them 3 years ago, or worse, the great thing that happened to someone that they knew 3 years ago. You know, it's like, go away from that person. They're not helpful to you, and they're not helpful to themselves either. And so you want to surround yourself, you got to think about this. You got to surround yourself with people who want the best for the best part of you. You can hang around with weasels and losers that are trying to pull you down to justify the fact that they're spiraling downhill as well. And you know, the upside of that is you don't have to have any responsibility and you can all whine about how wretched life is, you know, so that's pretty attractive. But I would say it's also a bad medium to long-term plan. And so it's acceptable and desirable to try to surround yourself with people who are facilitating your development. You know, and you might say, well, I've got people around, I know them well, you know, they're not doing that well and they don't fit into that category. It's like, what's your point? What are you going to do with them exactly? If they'll listen and cooperate with you and move towards a better future, great. If they don't pay any attention and they keep doing the same damn things over and over and they're not going anywhere and it's painful, then maybe the proper thing to do is say, you just have your misery. I'll go off and have my life. And maybe you'll wake up at some point in the future and think that's a better way of being. Because just putting up with it is, well, they call that enabling, right? You put up with that sort of behavior, you're providing tacit consent for it and even tacit approval. It's like, it's a bad idea. You have, I would say, both the right and the responsibility to surround yourself with people who are good for the best part of you.
So there you have it. There you have it. That is a great, to me, great inspirational video. Let me close with this thought. You know, my father was a minister, and I remember him saying to me once, it's quoting a scripture verse for me. It's from Romans 15, 12, 15, Romans 12, 15. So Paul wrote it. And he said, he admonishes people, he says, rejoice with them that do rejoice and weep with them that weep. And my dad said, you know, Carter, as you go through life, you're going to find that there are a lot of people weep with you when you weep, which is good, which is a good thing. He said, but it's not as many people who rejoice for you when you rejoice or are happy for you, okay? So I guess what I'm saying to you, surround yourself with those people when you say, you know what, I'm going to reinvent my life. I'm going to expand my life. I'm going to uplift my life and go live the good life at a great price in the sun, sand, and surf of Central or South America. And I can't wait to make my move. Who say to you, go for it. Go for the goal. Make it happen. In other words, as we say at the end of every Coffee with Carib Carter, folks, let's do this thing.